I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the South Asia Wildlife Enforcement Network, Greenhood Nepal, and our many partners, supporters, and donors whose hard work and collaboration made this workshop possible. I'm pleased to welcome representatives from governments, research institutions, zoological organizations, enforcement agencies, civil society organizations, local communities, and conservation partners from across South Asia and beyond. In particular, we are very honored to warmly acknowledge Director General of the Department of National Parks and Wildlife Conservation, Dr. Budi Sagas Podau, Chief Warden of Shivaburi Najargan National Park, Vishnu Shrisa, Head of Wildlife Crime Control Unit at DNPWC, Dr. Ganesh Pont, the retired Honorable Judat Gurung, member of the Natural Resources and Finance Commission, the former Director General of DNPWC, Fanindra Karel, and the Regional Counselor of IUCN, Roshani Adhikari. I am also especially pleased to welcome members of the IUCN SSC Pangolin Specialist Group, including steering and leadership committee members joining us this week. These conservation experts volunteer their time, expertise, wisdom, and courage in support of the Pangolin Specialist Group mission. And their contributions continue to shape pangolin conservation efforts globally. I would like to offer special thanks to Dr. Claire Raisin of the IUCN SSC Conservation Planning Specialist Group for serving as lead facilitator for this process. CPSG's proven, evidence-based, participatory approach to species conservation planning has helped turn conservation challenges into conservation success stories for more than 40 years, and they have provided unparalleled support to the Pangolin Specialist Group for more than a decade. Ultimately, this meeting is possible because of the generosity and vision of our donors and partners. We are deeply grateful to the United States Department of State, the Pangolin Crisis Fund, Greenhood Nepal, and many individuals around the world who support pangolin conservation through individual donations to the Pangolin Specialist Group. We are especially fortunate to gather here in the Kathmandu Valley with the world-renowned Himalayan mountain range to our north and the forests, wetlands, grasslands, and floodplains of the Terai to our south. There could be no more fitting place to host this regional workshop than Nepal, which is home to both the Indian pangolin and the Chinese pangolin, and sits at the intersection of two globally significant pangolin ranges. South Asia occupies a unique and globally important position within the broader Indo-Malayan biogeographic realm, one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth. Extraordinary gradients of elevation, climate, and habitat have shaped remarkable ecological diversity and complex evolutionary histories across this region. This richness is reflected not only in the landscapes and cultures of South Asia, but also in the pangolins themselves. Many colleagues joining us this week continue working to better understand pangolin diversity and evolution across South and Southeast Asia, including investigating the possibility of as yet undescribed cryptic species. Even now, there is still so much to learn about these remarkable animals. This is an also important moment to recognize that Pangolin Specialist Group members from South Asia are among the founding members of our global network and represent some of the longest standing pangolin researchers and conservation practitioners anywhere in the world. Long before pangolins received significant global attention, experts from this region were already advancing field research, rescue and rehabilitation efforts, ecological studies, and conservation action for these species. South Asia has achieved important pangolin scientific and conservation breakthroughs, notably husband and breeding efforts for Indian pangolins that helped build the foundation for our global understanding of pangolin biology and care.
Colleagues, I also wish you a great, pleasant and enjoyable stay in Kathmandu. I hope you will find some time to enjoy the Kathmandu city. This workshop brings together government, scientists, field practitioners, law enforcement agencies, conservation organizations, and community representatives from across South Asia. Such collaboration is essential because the challenges facing pangolins do not recognize national boundaries, neither should our conservation efforts. So as we know, pangolins are highly specialized mammal that exclusively feed on ants and termites, and they are playing an important ecological role as we see in the video. Unfortunately, these creatures have become the most trafficked mammal on earth since last few years. Demand for their scale and meats, driven by misconception regarding their medicinal and food values, has pushed these species towards extinction. So illegal hunting, trafficking, and habitat loss continue to threaten their survival across their range. Among the 8 pangolin species that are found in Africa and Asia, so 2 are listed as vulnerable, 2 are endangered, 3 are endangered, and 3 are critically endangered. So this highlights a concern global trend of increasing extinction risks over these recent decades, which should serve as a wake-up call for all of us. So allow me to briefly share Nepal's experience in pangolin conservation. Nepal is home to 2 species of pangolins, the Chinese and Indian pangolins. National surveys have reported the presence of pangolin throughout the country. More than 40 districts have presence of pangolin in Nepal. And then the 2017-16 survey, as Kerry already mentioned, that identified few, hotspots in different districts. So that hotspots requires more, focus conservation attention. More recent findings will be shared by my colleagues here. I see Kumarji here. Similarly, we have Lakshmiji, Tulsi Lakshmiji, then DFO Vishnuji, and many colleagues are here. So they will, during this workshop, they will share the most recent, research findings. They have contributed a lot to pangolin conservation and research in Nepal. So both species are protected under the Schedule 1 of Nepal's National Parks and Wildlife Conservation Act since 1973. As you know, Nepal, together with other range countries, in collaboration with conservation partners, they have played a leading role in successful proposal to uplist all pangolin species from CITES 2 to CITES 1 in 2016.
And then there are members of media and their friends and my colleagues from SAID. Namaste and very warm welcome to all of you, Kathmandu. I have seen DFO, a previous DFO from Kathmandu. He was very active for conserving pangolins during his time. So we didn't have much react earlier, so I may miss some of your names. So it is a great honor and privilege to address this workshop, very important in mention. In South Asia is part of the global initiation by IUCN to prepare action plan to conserve these species. First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Department of National Parks and Wildlife Conservation, Nepal. IUCN is SSC Special Pangolin Specialist Group, Greenwood Nepal, and all partner organizations for bringing together experts and practitioners from across South Asia and beyond to address one of the region's most urgent conservation challenge of protecting and preserving pangolin. Pangolins have become a symbol of the wildlife trafficking crisis, so that is the main reason why SAWIN was interested and engaged in the process. South Asia occupies a unique position in their conservation because of our region is home to both Indian pangolin and the critically endangered Chinese pangolin, which has already been mentioned by Chair of Special Surveillance Commission. The future of these species depends significantly on the action that we collectively take today in the region. Despite increasing conservation efforts, illegal trade remains a serious threat while echoing all previous thought put by previous speakers. I'd like to put some information there which are very specific to South Asia, which might help. I fully agree on the, what should be the element of conservation as proposed by Director General. Maybe you all are expert on that, so I think I did not to speak much on that. But we have seen, we have analyzed South Asia Wildlife Enforcement Network Bulletin for the past 10 years, where there was 1,864 entries. Out of these, 68% cases were engaged with wildlife trade, and pangolins were among the most frequently trafficked species in the region. The data also revealed changing patterns of wildlife trafficking. Historically, pangolin trade was dominated by scale. However, recent regional analysis suggests that approximately 55% of recorded pangolin trade involve scale now, compared to the previous one, while nearly 30% involve live pangolins, indicating growing demand for luxury consumption, captive display, and potentially pet trade, maybe. This shift demonstrates that trafficking networks are adapting and diversifying their market. And wildlife criminals are engaging in exploiting online platforms and digital technologies, while investigations are revealing stronger links between wildlife trafficking, money laundering, corruption, and other forms of organized crime. Perhaps the most alarming finding that was published in one of the papers from South Asia, specifically from India, during the period of 1991 to 2022. Only 1.4% of recorded pangolin seizure cases result in successful conviction.